I don't know what that was. Hi, everybody. I'm back. I am back from traveling, and I am so pumped, excited, and thrilled to be teaching you how to do these really easy drip roses. I mean, they're just like going to be so easy. Things you should know before you begin them, though, they are messy. So get an old towel or some newspaper or something and pull out your inner child who appreciates messes, because we're going to make one, but we're going to also make some beautiful art while we do it. I hope you guys are great. I missed you. That's just the honest truth. I missed you.
Oh, yeah. I think everybody here missed you, too.
On the mic, if it's your first time here, that is my husband, John. It takes somebody to run 4 cameras and sound and all of that. He answers, and you can see he's still working on it.
I'm pushing. Look, I put the right button there.
He's a button pusher. He likes to push all of them, and sometimes you get interesting in cards. If you have questions, this is such an exciting episode. We're doing something new.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay,
we're, of course, going to answer questions during a live, but as you know, the feed goes by really quickly, and we can miss really important art questions. So our amazing moderators, those are people with the wrenches, are going to be kind of paying attention to what the top 10 questions of this episode are. And at the end, we're going to come back about 30 minutes after it's over, answer them, and then I card them. That'll be right there for you guys on the replay, so that those really important burning questions actually get answered, because I think it's really important to answer people's art questions. And this is my number one thing. You're not asking a silly question, and it doesn't matter if like everybody knows the answer to the question. It's your question. It's your journey. It's very personal. This is about you. So just feel free to ask them. John's there doing his best, but we got the mods helping this time too, and I think this is really going to change the information set.
And we're going to really try to we'll try to answer some of the like questions in chat too.
Oh, we always do.
The big ones we'll get afterwards.
Right, yeah. And if we miss some, you'll know we're going to catch them. So after.
Yeah.
All right, I'm using acrylic brushes today. I've got a 10, I think it's a 6, and a 4. Bright. Cool. So what I mean by bright is they're squared off. These are squared off. I'm using Simply Simmons. I've got information about them in the thing below. What I want to say to you about your acrylic brushes is that you just need to make sure that they're firm and not too soft. If they would be good for putting on makeup, they're not good for a heavy body paint.
Okay.
Right? So that's really what it is. And I also have, because I want to whip through the background, a number 14 Pro Stroke. That's another brand that I'm kind of cool with. It has an actual bristle. And I know that it's a bristle because it's hog hair.
Ooh.
I think. I could totally be wrong. So this is the gorgeous piece that we're doing. I'm going to put this to the side where I can see it because I don't have my usual easel. We just put my table up.
You know, it was funny because when we went live today, I was lucky I even had the cameras on in the right place. I was like, I hit the button and looked up and go, oh, luckily they're here.
Mr. Bottle. Towel under your canvas. This is key. So what have I said to you the whole time? Don't underbind your paint. Don't overmix with water. All right, we're going to break that rule. Right now, hardcore. And here is my pro tip. If you're a professional artist and you're trying to sell work and you're going to be underbinding your paint or making it very fluid, please apply an acrylic ground to the canvas, at least 3 coats first. I'll add a link to that in the bottom, and that will stabilize the paint so that it does not ever flake off. For regular people doing regular painting, if this is just for your personal home and you don't need it to last 500 years, it's really not a problem. You can fix it with a spray varnish.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't sell it to a collector.
Yeah.
Right? But for yourself, if you just need it to last like 100 years on your wall, you're good. You can use fluid body paints or soft body paints like craft paints or Golden's fluid paints, or you can use heavy body paints and thin them down with water. It really kind of all works for this. Our first thing that we're going to do is tell you the colors. You guys ready? You missed me so much. You ready to hear the colors?
They are.
I missed you guys so much. I'm ready to tell you the colors.
Okay.
All right. So I've got a phthalo green, a phthalo blue, a yellow oxide, sometimes called yellow ochre. They actually aren't the same, but they essentially are. Cad yellow, quinacridone red, raw sienna, titanium white, and optionally you can do unbleached titanium. That's just an option because you can kind of really get that color with the raw sienna or the titanium white. I'm going to answer this right now. If you don't have quinacridone red, you can use primary red or a crimson. Will actually get you right through, so you don't have to worry about that. But like, it says crimson, says primary red, you're good. You just don't want to use a cad red because well, I don't even think it'll ruin painting. It'll just give you a different tone. It's a much orangier red. For your raw sienna, You know, if you don't have, if you're burnt, that's okay. I didn't send worksheets home to your family and friends. Just say, check to see that there are these colors here. This is sort of a technique painting, and I'm just giving you a color palette to work from, but you can do this once you understand it in almost any color palette. I have wishes on my canvas today, John.
Oh, yes, they were. Everyone was just asking about wishes. They're like, what about the wishes?
Deborah.
See, look, they're over there. See, I told you their wishes are there.
Yeah, I put them in. With
They're all in
watercolor
there.
pencils so that they disappear into my canvas. Don't put them in with graphite because graphite will bleed through. Unless I intentionally want it to do that, which sometimes we do. Deborah has a wish for healing.
Mm-hmm.
She's going through a lot medically, and we really just wish that everything is okay and her spirits stay up through that. We're also wishing for help for West Virginia. They've really been through some terrible weather.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just hoping that, you know, everybody is getting taken care of and that their families are safe and that they get back to just doing their thing as soon as possible. And in that same spirit, for the people going through fires in California.
Yeah.
Be safe. Be careful. Wildfires are very serious. And, you know, if you've been through one, you know, we've been through a fire, and what I'll say is, you know, kids and dogs.
Yeah. And, you know, big hugs to Brianna and Janine and Ghost and Aaron and all the people out there who need some wishes. I know our light keepers will help catch some of those and get them in their paintings. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah. We have a wish for our community member, Tracy, who is her first commission going on.
Oh, that's right.
It's her first one. And so we're wishing it goes really
Congratulations.
well and her client's super happy. Healing and peace for Donna and her family. We love her, and she's with us all the time. And so, of course, we want healing and peace for Donna. And the last wish is kind of a combo one. It's Mona and Janine and Judith and several other of our members that go through Crohn's, and, of course, my husband, that we just continue to wish healing for your stomach.
Happy tummies.
Happy tummies. That's my wish for everybody everywhere. I'm going to start my drippy painting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get my spray bottle, and I'm going to prime my canvas with water. What? Yes, I am.
you snagged Blendy's squirt bottle.
I did a snake blending squirt bottle. And I'm going to put in this really sort of washy background. I'm going to take just a little of my raw sienna and this little off-white, but you could just use white, and I'm going to just start putting this in and getting my words out. Like you do.
Like you do.
Like you do. I love to say like you do.
Well, we know, but I think that in the future, in the Sherpa sippy game, like you do is a definite,
Is like an actual thing.
It's like an actual thing. Where are you? Oh, there you are.
Kind of rubbing my little words out, but I want them to go into the paint. I want their energy to go into the paint. This painting, if you know you're traveling along and you're new to art, what you get out of this wonderful painting is just a relaxing sense of the paint can do a lot of stuff, and yet your painting can really be okay. That's what I want you to take away from this. You can be doing something. You can have different qualities of paint. You know, maybe you're painting with a craft paint. Maybe you're painting with a pro paint. But in this type of painting, you learn to let go and let some magic just happen on your canvas. You really get into Bob's. There's only happy accidents.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping it quite wet. And again, I would use like 2 to 3 coats of an absorbent ground if I was trying to sell this later or know it was stabilized.
Mm-hmm.
But we were talking about this earlier today. The person who worries about the permanence of your painting is somebody that restores them, and you're going to be long gone by the time they're worried about it. It's really their problem.
And they'll have micro nano robots that will then be
Probably
doing it,
at that point they will. They'll be x-raying your paintings going, did they gesso? Why did they gesso over it? Because maybe somebody painting along is going to be super famous.
I think so.
We don't know.
I think we'll have at least 10 super famous painters amongst our audience.
Right? This is just this sort of stain. An interesting pro art tip is that you can do this on raw linen canvas.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah, and it goes right into the canvas, and then there is no underbinding. And when I'm saying underbinding, if you're really, really new, sometimes if you add too much water to your paint, especially entry paints like Liquitex Basics, if you were to, or Artist Loft, if you were to add too much water to that, it can flake off the canvas. However, again, it probably won't. And you're probably going to get a really great result and not have to worry about it. It's only really important if you're selling your work.
Yeah.
If you're just hanging your work, it's not as critical to what's going on. Now I'm going to do something crazy here. I'm going to add some water to it.
Why?
Because it's going to start a drip effect.
Oh.
See how it's just dripping? And now you're like, oh, that's why she said towel.
Oh.
That is why I said towel.
Whoa.
I'm going to grab my number 10.
Hold on, I'm zooming in on the water. It's sort of doing some weird stuff over there.
Yeah, it really does. And I'm really, really adding some water to this paint. This is a heavy body paint. You can see I'm almost getting it to a fluid consistency.
Okay.
Now, the truth is, I paint with gold in a lot and Liquitex Pro paints. Look at that. I'm putting the drip up there and it's already going. So much. Maybe I'll put a little drip here. Right here. I'm going to come over maybe, 3-4 inches to the right and add a little drip down. And this is so abstract. This is so fabulously abstract and fun. You know? And that's what makes it really, really great. And again, for you guys that did my Cosmic Owl and happen to have like high flow acrylics and absorbent ground, go bananas now.
Oh, wow. Cinnamon, I just looked over. There's over 250 people here with us. Just, hi, everybody.
We were literally talking about you in the desert where we had no phone signal the whole time. Did you feel us talking about you? Because we did. We talked about you a lot.
We missed you guys so much.
I hope you're okay with this voice because the stuff we filmed in the space is in a deeper version of it.
You have your supernatural voice on today.
I do. Apparently, I have been cast in Supernatural. I'm now like an angel or something.
You
probably.
and Castiel will be hanging out.
Yeah. It's been a journey back to. We got allergies. There were the fires and there was like some spring blooms and stuff and.
You've been through the desert on a horse with no
name. Don't catch me, content ID. Don't do it. See, I'm just randomly putting it here. It's like I'm going to put some right here in the middle. What I'm looking to do is create just the feeling of rain. You know how your windshield feels in the car before the wipers start going and you're seeing the water sheeting down? Or if you're one of those people who lives in the desert and it's doing one of those desert floods and you see it sheeting down the road, I'm trying to create that effect. That sheeting effect, right? What's going to happen down here at the bottom is it's going to run off. Now, I do this. I'm actually sharing with you something I kind of regularly do in my fine art.
Oh. So
John is very familiar with this mess. I like to call it slippage and drippage. An accidental miracle.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're trying to create here. And if it starts to dry out on you, guess what? Woo!
You just spray it.
Spray it. If you're using the absorbent ground, which again, you don't have to go buy, you don't have to use it to get this technique to work. It will actually even kind of dimple and get that salt effect like you expect to see in watercolor paper.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, this question has been asked. I don't know if it came up here. You can do this on watercolor paper. This technique on watercolor paper. Anytime you paint acrylic on watercolor paper, doesn't matter how much you water it down, it is stabilized in the paper. It does not underbind on paper.
Oh, cool.
So that's something I see people get, I don't know where the confusion comes from, but I see them get confused on that a lot. And that is the actual, dude, the people at Golden said so. So.
Nice.
Yeah. So we know it's true because they probably tested paper and acrylic in space. You know they did.
I know.
They have a testing lab.
the
They do that
moon.
stuff.
The secret moon base for
Now,
testing paint.
What if you got too thick? Like, I'm going to do one that's too thick. What if you got too thick and it wasn't really running? Like, see here? Or if some heavy body paint, it's not running and I'm feeling stuck. Can everyone see that?
Yeah.
Now I'm not stuck.
Oh, wow. It just...
Yeah. And if it's still stuck, you can touch it with your brush, soften it, and then hit it again a little bit.
Oh, nice.
Okay? If you're painting with little brushes, just know they're going to go mad with the spray bottle. They will find the level at which the spray bottle stops working.
So...
That's their journey. You just got to love them for their journey.
How did you like everyone would like to know, how did you like your trip in the desert?
I love my trip in the desert. I saw 55 skies you all have to paint now.
Oh, that's right. You saw lots of skies to paint.
I saw so many skies, and you can paint them all. By the way, I hope you like Southwest art.
And we went through Roswell right during
Get a better
UFO
like some
time.
aliens,
Yep.
because that's happening. Caverns are not happening because they locked me in the cavern for 2 hours to get out. And that got uncool real fast.
800 feet below the surface of the earth.
Locked in.
Trapped with about 400 of your closest new friends.
New friends, yes. I'm going to take a little of my titanium white over to my phthalo blue. I'm going to get this quite wet. And I'm going to add this to there. And get more water on my brush. If it drips like it just did there, you're going to see it's kind of okay. I'm doing this in the upper right corner.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to just let this go. And you see I'm dipping my paintbrush in my water a lot. You can take it all the way up. Just try to be loose and abstracted about it. That's really fun, and that's sort of the magic of what you're doing. You know, try to see that it's fluid. But again, if it's chunky on you, we know how to fix it, don't we?
Yep.
Breaking the thing about art is there are guidelines, but there are no rules.
Oh, yes.
And whenever you think you've got a rule happening in art where things absolutely are or absolutely not one way, some artists will come along and successfully break those rules. That is maybe one of the best things about art.
So they were asking about a willow tree.
Yes, it's coming.
Yes, it's coming.
You guys have seen it.
Yeah.
I just actually might get a redesign because I saw something super cool that's maybe even better.
Yeah.
And it got taken back to the easel.
It's getting updated.
Rethought. Yeah, it's getting updated. I saw a fresh thing that I felt was real current, and I was like, oh, this is so perfect for that. So all the elements, yes, Kevin will come. Now, the strength of my piece is going to be coming from this upper left in this sort of swatch of roses down to the right.
Okay.
So my strongest amounts of color are going to be over here.
Okay.
You just might not know that, but they are. I'm going to get some more white into here. I'm having some fun with it. So I'm going to definitely make sure that I'm
so
dripping
cool.
a lot of blue this way.
Super drippy.
Super drippy. Again, wow, if you've just been feeling like, oh, out of control, or like things are not working your way, there's some beautiful, liberating event that happens in drip paintings that just will set you free. It's incredible.
Yeah, everyone really is enjoying the drip.
You know, like I said, as long as you got the towel underneath, it's all sort of good. And remember, like in all acrylic paintings, your drip painting will have a hot mess moment. I'm going to mist. I'm getting dry. I'm not over misting, so it's like 3-4 sputters.
Little brush Elizabeth is with us here today.
Hi, little brush Elizabeth.
And you know what? We have a lot of brushes with us. There's so many brushes. There's like over 265 brushes here.
I'm so glad to see 265 brushes.
Hi, guys. It's nice to see you again.
It's so good. We tried to Periscope. We tried to live. We thought we were going to live from the road. We've got that fixed now. We can now. We can live from the road now. But when we went out, we realized we weren't going to be able to go right to YouTube. So hopefully some of you got to catch us on Periscope and Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be live on Facebook tomorrow in the Angeluni group on Facebook. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do my best shopping tips on how to get those costs down on art supplies.
Oh, that's good.
Right? And I bet you guys have some great tips too. Like I don't think I'm the center of all tips in the universe. Some of you guys are pretty savvy shoppers. I'm going to get a darker blue here because I want to change up my values and tones. Right?
I have to say hi to Little Brush James, who's also a first-time watcher from Australia.
Hi, James.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. All right. So all my brushes, one little tip I want to give. When you're spraying, spray from far back. 2 sprays. Don't.
Is that because you like to see the big misty cloud?
I'll show you what happens. If I get up too close, I can fix it. So I'm going to show you what happens.
Oh, wow. That just like cleaned your canvas.
Yeah. So that's why you don't want to be too close. Okay. You want to mist from far back.
Gotcha.
I can fix it, so don't worry.
But how do you fix it?
Here's how you fix everything in acrylic painting. Add more paint.
Oh, you just paint over it. More layers.
Yeah. And we do have a quest this week. I got to get it up. It's basically going to be how to repair a torn canvas because I have a torn canvas.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Which one?
It's the big horse head. They tore it at the show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was entered in a juried show, and during the juried part of the exhibition, it got torn. We're not going to ask anybody how.
It happens.
It's the risk of exhibiting.
When art is shown, it can get damaged.
Yeah. And on like really prestigious shows, a lot of times they will have like a team and you can actually, there's an insurance writer, but on most like kind of local events, not as much.
Yeah.
Not as much. All right, see how drippy and fun
That's
is?
so cool.
It just, by the way, this is great with wisteria. It's great with any flower. I love it so much. All right, guess what I'm going to do next?
What's that?
I'm going to do something kind of crazy. I think I'm going to add some of my Quinacridone Red to my Phthalo Blue. I'm going to get kind of a crazy color here. Do you see this crazy color?
Uh-huh.
I'm going to put that in my mix. Add some more water where it's needed.
Oh, it just explodes down.
Yeah, it does just explode down. And a lot of this is like, dude, I know gravity's going to take it a particular direction. You can get so particular about this. You can control where moisture is on your canvases, not you can actually control the drip. But for the purposes of this, we're not that concerned about controlling it.
But as my man Batty Coda says, gravity works.
Gravity works. Oh, I miss Batty Coda.
You have to watch that again.
Miss him in the universe, don't we all? So just a little bit of this here and there. See, I'll go. See, it's an interesting thing though to dab, 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 and that helps carry a drip down sometimes. Dab, dab. Too much water, but it's coming down, and it does these washes. I gotta tell you, even if you don't have the absorbent ground, a spray varnish will set you free.
Huh.
Spray varnish is so good.
Oh, it looks like that canvas repair is right on time. We got a couple people who have some damaged canvases.
Oh, happy to answer questions about damaged canvases. I'm bringing some Quinacridone Red over to my green, and you'll notice I'm getting a very deep green. See the deep green?
Yeah, it's really deep.
I'm going to add some of this deep, almost grayed out green to my canvas.
And we'll have to say hi to Sonia, who's another little brush with us today.
Hi, Sonia.
We have lots of brushes.
So how many little brushes? All the little brushes give a shout out.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, all the little brushes shout out because we have over 275 people in here, and I just am curious, like, how many of them are little brushes?
I hope all of our brushes appreciate that sometimes being messy is good for your art.
Now, did you use any grounds on this canvas when you started?
Yeah, remember a coat of absorbent ground.
A coat of absorbent ground. Okay.
None.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Hold that right there. I'm going to zoom in on that real quick. So
this is the finished piece. We have so much spraying to do.
But you can see that you can get the effect even without, huh?
Yeah. This was just did it.
But it does definitely get a more pronounced effect, and you can see when I zoom in there a lot.
No, actually, these will probably resolve about the same because we put white back into this, and there's a thing where we're painting the flowers and keep dripping. Drip, drip, drip. Yeah. We keep dripping.
Keep on
drip,
dripping.
drip, drip, drip.
All right. We're good. You can go back.
So you're fine either way. I like to test things, and make sure you guys are good either way. So see, we just got that sort of drip, drip, drip. Hopefully, you guys are going to have the same sort of success you had with your, other ground. I think that's really fun. I'm going to do a little of my green over to my yellow.
There's a little brush. Tyler says hi.
Hi, Tyler.
There's a whole bunch of people here. Anicia is a little brush.
Hi, Anicia.
Just Jackie would like to know what a little brush is. And then Mark put on his little brush hat.
Oh, Mark is a little brush. Let's all be honest.
and Stephanie says she's a little brush.
Hey, Mark, I hope your family and everything is okay. Sending love to Mark. Everybody send some love energy to Mark.
Mm-hmm. Big hugs to Mark.
I actually follow you on Facebook and Twitter, so I'm kind of stalking you. So see, I've made this very bright green.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm adding this to the... Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
I love the bright green. Now, another little trick, you can come get some white into it and really brighten it.
So how many?
Look how bright that is.
How many hoots is this?
Okay, so if you have an issue with mess, this could be like a 3-hoot.
This is a 3-hoot mess maker.
If you're a mess person. If you're not a mess person, it's like 1 hoot. This is just about, I'm going to drippy some hot mess here, and then I'm going to pull it all together with some cute roses.
Some drippy.
Are super easy to do. In the iCard already is the link to Angela Anderson's How to Do Simple Roses. These particular roses, I mean, these are like a staple in art skills, right? And so there's just some good stuff out there. And I feel like once I teach you these, this is very much like a modern version of decorative painting.
Yeah, it looks like little brush Chrissy is from South Africa painting with us. That's pretty neat.
Chrissy?
Or if she's not a little brush, she is today.
She is today. She's not a little brush. You've been carded, Chrissy.
Oh, and someone from Kingwood. How about that? Just up the street.
Yo, Kingwood. Kingwood rules. Okay.
How's it going?
How you doing, Kingwood? I know, I'm having so much fun with this. So see, I'm just going, and I've got that kind of wonderful...
Oh, thank you, Bonnie. She reminded me I should ask everyone to
Like,
thumbs
comment.
up, share, comment, subscribe, all those things.
That we never remember.
With 288 people in the room. Thank you. Don't forget to like, comment. But probably more importantly than that is if you would share your paintings up on our Facebook page so I can see them.
Yeah, we love to see you on Facebook. Places you can
anywhere.
share the
Website.
artwork. Our Instagram, Twitter, the Angeluni Facebook page. Guys, don't go run over and be bugging Miss Angela over in Thankful Art. That's for Angela conversations. But if you want to share with both Angela and I, that would go in Angeluni. And if you wanted to share with me, that's on the Heart Party page on Facebook. And then also Twitter, Instagram, and our webpage.
And our webpage, which you will see.
Been really griefy lately.
It's griefy, but we're about to de-grief it.
Yeah, we say that.
Well, we got the Sherpa mod squad on it. So
right.
I suspect they're going to be like, do this, do that. And we have engineers listening to them going, yes, we will do it.
When you get this to a space where you're like, I really like how this is going.
Okay,
right?
So how do you decide where to put the brush?
How do I decide where to put the brush?
Yeah.
So like I came over here to the right and I'm putting the brush here. I'm looking to create a flow and balance across the canvas. So when I'm looking down here, I'm like, I want this to kind of meander delicately out.
Oh, over 300. Woo-hoo.
Right? So I'm pulling this off. See how this is going?
Uh-huh.
And I'm just letting this kind of meander out, bleed through the canvas. It takes it off the canvas a bit. This is really fun to do. Just a bit of fun that you can do any time and do these with several flowers.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, what you might not know is like say you got muddy and dark, you can go back with white.
What do you mean?
So say this was just really muddy and dark.
Okay.
And I wasn't
Well,
happy
can you
with
make
it.
some muddy and dark parts? It's like, well, so how would you make it muddy and dark? What would be the thing that you would be doing that could
if I
make
did
it muddy
too
and
much
dark?
of like the Quinacridone Red with the green and I did that too much on the canvas.
Could you show me an example of that just in a little place?
I think it's kind of going right here.
Okay, cool. Let me find that. Let me zoom in on that. Oh, I see. Just a little bit there in the center.
Right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take my white, just my white, and I'm going to like let that just change that up a bit. I'm not married to anything that's happening here. See? Come back with my white,
That's really neat.
and I'm still good.
I forget how much I enjoy being able to tell you what to do and then watch it. It's like, go put some pink
So
over
now
there.
this is weirdly a good time to dry your canvas.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So John, talk to everybody.
I have to say hello. Hi, guys. It's been so long since I've been left alone with you and nothing to prepare. Man, it was so good. The vacation was really cool to go out there and see all of the Midwest. We saw lots of really, really cool Southwest and Midwest and sort of West Coast stuff. It was really awesome. Lots of deserts, lots of beautiful rocky encampments. I don't know what they call them, but you know, the rocks that are pretty in the desert that I can't speak about because I have tongue-tiedness, and that's why you get me alone in here to talk. Okay, so anyway, yeah, we saw all that cool stuff, and we drove through the desert, and we stopped in Roswell, and we were in Roswell on National UFO Day. So how crazy is that? And we were there, and literally there were people all around walking around with tinfoil hats on, and it was really pretty fantastic because we got to talk. I actually got to talk to like astronaut whistleblowers and all sorts of really fun stuff. And then, of course, we went to the Carlsbad Caverns, where we were trapped underground 800 feet for like hours and hours and hours and hours.
Because there's 2 elevators to get out.
But it's really pretty.
It was 4th of July weekend. It was maybe not a well thought out weekend to visit.
Yeah, it was really pretty though. And we have some video stuff that we'll be posting up a little later.
We have video.
Yep. And we'll be posting that up a little later. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. We love seeing you guys here and seeing all that. And what are you doing?
I am getting ready to put in the stuff that is our underpainting.
Okay, you do that. I'm just chatting away with everybody.
Okay, well, I'm just letting you do that. I'm going to bring a little of my Quinacridone Red over to my Phthalo Blue in the back of her. I want a purple that's more to the red. Can you see how this is more to the red here?
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to very abstractly come here. And this is going to be about like 4 inches. I'm up here in the upper left. I'm sort of bringing it down. This is going to be the basis under which I'm going to hang a bunch of my flowers.
No.
So I'm just kind of doing little brushes up and down. It's wider right here. This is about 6 inches wide, up and down.
Now, can you talk a little bit about how you're choosing to frame the composition here?
Like when I designed it originally?
Yeah.
Because right now I'm trying to duplicate what I did before.
Right. But why are you selecting like the areas that you are to put the colors?
So in paintings, we make decisions about where our focus is, right?
Uh-huh.
And so we've talked in the past about like, they say it's rule of thirds, but like guidelines of thirds. But there's compositional things, and essentially what you're trying to do as an artist is keep people's eyes on your canvas.
Gotcha.
So if you shoot them off the canvas with strong compositional elements, sometimes you can lose them. You can create dead centers where their eyes don't move back up. You want people's eyes to sort of travel around in a circle. So I'm always trying to look at what can I create of interest that will pull people across, but yet pull them back in.
Gotcha.
So this is sort of a very tricky little loop that I'm doing. I'm just the center down here. Like the width of this is about just my forefinger to my thumb.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because I know I'm going to have these flowers underneath here. They're going to need to be, this needs to be a darker purple.
Okay.
Right? That's all it needs to be, is a darker purple, little bit to the red. As I'm traveling this way, I think I'm going to lighten it and I'm going to do just a couple, like I'm going to go over to the right and do a little dash and a little bit here, and then I'm going to stop.
Okay.
Right? So that's where that red is going to hang. I'm going to rinse out my brush really, really well. I might need another water, babe.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you so much.
And
so I've gone. Here's an interesting thing. So see what's happening in my water? The water is quite dirty.
Yeah.
And so when I'm trying to do, one of the things you guys ask me all the time is like, how are my colors muddy? Sometimes it's happening in your water. If your water is very muddy and you're trying to get into lighter or brighter colors, it's going to muddy or tone out your colors, and your whole composition can be muddy. So, just sort of pay attention, like, is my white looking white when I mix water to it? And if your white isn't mixing white anymore, your water's too muddy. And that may actually be impacting the color. Thank you, Stunt Hands. Appreciate you so much. That might actually be affecting the color of your composition. That is one of the things. We're going to do a quest on how my canvas got muddy. But that's one of the things, like, somebody was like, I don't know, the colors aren't bright. I'll come by and they have the murky swamp of death in their water. I mean, kind of look at your cup and go, is it tinted water or is it the murky swamp of death? And if you're painting a very dark thing, like if you're painting black, white, and yellow, or, well, actually black, white, and red, you might get away with black, white, and yellow, you wouldn't. If you're painting very monochromatic painting, murky water wouldn't be an issue, but if you want brightness in your painting, water is a big issue. See, it's never you guys. It's never you. It's probably not you in life either. But for sure, it's not you on your painting.
Is it me?
It's never you either, sweetheart.
It could be
It
me.
is your brush, your canvas, your paint. Sometimes it's your water. And knowledge is about being able to look through those things and having experience. And then you're like, oh, it's my water. It's not me. It's important stuff. I am going to get a little of my maybe my phthalo green and maybe a little yellow oxide. And I'm going to make loose leaf brush strokes. And I just go flick. I might flick to the round. These are very abstracted. I'm going to leave the purple here. And I'm going to come here. I'm making these loose leaf brush strokes. And that's okay. Got some yellow over. I want some tones, so this has that. Maybe I'm going to put a couple out here. This is my number 10 bright. Right?
Now, what kind of paint are you using here?
So I'm using two kinds of paint. I'm using golden fluid, which is like a craft paint consistency.
Uh-huh.
And I'm using heavy bodied. And I may actually put out some heavy bodied green and phthalo blue because I'm going to want some structure in a little bit. Wouldn't be necessary. It's just a preference that I have. You could do this all with the good, that good deco craft paint that's like a fine art paint.
Mm-hmm.
You do this whole thing with that.
Neat.
Right? A gold cap. Look for gold caps, or it's listed as fine art. I think that's Plaid has the gold caps, and Deco, it says artist colors, and they're designed for mixing.
Yeah. If I
or
recall.
You could do, these are like soft-bodied by Golden. Liquitex. Golden calls it fluid, and then if you ask Golden, I need to know about your soft-body paint, they'll be like, there's no such thing. But what they're basically saying is some of the paints have a heavy polymer in it that builds a body and holds a brush stroke, and some of the paints are self-leveling and do not, like house paint. That's really all anyone's talking about. We just make a big crazy deal over it. I'm going to get a little of my purple back into the composition. All right? Maybe like just a couple places. Just a little bit with some white. Just get in here. Okay? Right in the center between the green. And guess what I'm going to do?
What's that?
Missed it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That just kind of goes. I had the sound effects myself.
Did everyone go, ooh?
I did.
And if it's not
In 30
moving,
seconds,
go
they'll
ahead
ooh too.
and break the bind with your brush. See how I can do that?
Oh, I see.
I broke that polymer binding with the brush.
Now,
That's all I got to do.
Amber's curious if you could do these drips with the FW inks.
With which inks?
The FW inks?
Yes.
Because I thought you had a whole whack of those.
You had a whole whack of these. So what I would say to do these is do all the drips and all the loose abstract stuff with the FW inks, and then pull out your heavy body paints through the roses and final leaves.
Oh, yeah?
That's how I would do that.
Yeah, you just wanted to show people how to do it if they already had the paints. And not
Yeah, I just didn't want people to have to go out and get like a whole bunch of new stuff. Like, what do you have at home? Let's use that.
Yeah.
Right? Now I'm going to get my my yellow, and I'm going to take it over to my heavy body green. I'm going to switch brushes, actually. I'm going to go smaller brushes from the rest of this workout. I've got a number 6 bright.
We have so many people from Sweden. I think is awesome.
Yeah, we got to go.
We got to go to Sweden. I just want to go there anyway.
Yeah,
because they have an awesome. They have an outback as cool as Australia.
Yep.
But much more temperate.
Much more temperate. Is that what it is?
Well, it's a rainforest, but it's a.
I'm putting out some heavy
rainforest.
bodied yellow because I want some structure in my leaves.
Yeah.
And I'm losing the cat.
It's like Vancouver. Remember in Vancouver?
Oh,
it was
so
like
nice.
yeah. So it'd be cool like that.
So I've got a little of this yellow, and look, I'm taking my brush, and I've got it kind of loaded like. I'll show you the load.
Oh, there you are.
It's like glopped on there like that, and I'm just on this edge corner. That's how I get this. I take it on the edge corner and I flick it out. If I flick it out on the wide, I get this. If I take it on the edge corner, I get that.
Oh.
A lot of people don't know that about their brush, but it does that. I'm taking a little green over here, but I don't want too much, and I'm going to just come back and add some of these really cool little leafy bits, here and there, even up into the pink. It's fun to do because purple and yellow are contrast. It will gray out a bit, so I won't do it too deep in.
Yep.
But these little tones, they're essential. Look at that little stroke. It just goes right into the wet paint. It creates that pattern, see?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I've got there.
So,
So I've got this sort of wonderful, playful, event. You can take some of the red over to the green, and you're going to mix a dark green. You can add a little blue to it, makes a dark blue. And I'm going to make some dark colors here, also flicking these out in this very abstract way. So I'm just going flick.
Yep.
Now notice I'm leaving this in the center sort of open for my roses. So So this is very much like a decorative painting.
Yeah. Now, Casey was asking, she said, John, is the Sherpa going to do any more motivational paintings for depression and anxiety?
Yes, we did.
So,
yeah, all right. So what we have coming up for that, because I think that's something we all deal with, is that we've got the sea turtles.
Oh, yeah. The
and
sea
that is
turtles.
a meditation video. I did have this deep voice, so that's happening. Hopefully that won't increase anxiety.
It's your angelic voice.
It's my angelic voice.
Like
and then
Castell's.
we have the scream coming up, and we're really going to talk about how we manage feelings and using art to manage our feelings. And then we have, and this whole week is sort of about this, then we have the Red Riding Hood in watercolor, and we have the Red Riding Hood in acrylic, which I think Flame keeps calling Little Red. And that whole week is going to be, we're going to talk about our feelings that whole week, really hardcore, about how we handle them and how we face the challenges in our life, and that life isn't always buttercups and angels and fairies. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it's soul-crushingly hard. And it's that courage, I think, when we face those impossible moments that makes us truly beautiful. It's just a feeling that I have about the world.
Yeah.
So this mixture here is a little Quinacridone Red, a little Phthalo Green, and a little Phthalo Blue. I'm using a number 6 bright and pulling it on my corner to get the leaf stroke.
Well, we're having a little bit of a glitchy error here. It looks like the stream may be having a little anxiety at the moment. Uh-oh, he is right. So we're going to chat with everybody just for a moment while I'm going to see if I can take a look around. Because we don't want to lose any of this here. So give me just a moment to take a look. Sometimes there's things we can do with the stream. Sometimes there's not.
I'm adding
so
a little brush stroke into the pink, but just a small amount. Okay. I'm going to take this very deep color, this deep rose color, because we always want to start roses with a deep color. And I'm going to make a little C with my bright. And then I'm going to come around my C off center. I like how Angela says it. Think of it like laying bricks. And I'm going to curve around it right there. And then I'm going to come around here on this outside edge, curving around with this other little C. And then another big C. Just working it out. And this is quite a dark color. I'll keep adding some red into it. I'm laying my bricks, right? And I've got that first pattern. And I'm going to come again. I'm going to come down here. I want another real big rose. I'm going to do my little C. Right, my little C here. Come around my little C, curving around it. Curve around all of this like laying bricks. I love that explanation. Thank you, Angela. And around this outside edge, making this pattern. If you've got an area like right here that's super open, go ahead and fill it in with a little bit there. I'm going to come around this outer edge. It's going to pick up maybe some of the paint underneath it. Don't even worry about it because we're going to come back with a bright pink. Now I'm going to put one between these two roses, little C's that curve around each other, curve around here, and this is going to fill in this space just a little bit. You know, come right here with some just bright red, just to make sure we know where it is. I came back with some just Quinacridone Red. You could be using primary red. That would be okay. I'm going to get some just my red here, come up here, and add another little flower. Little C, coming around, curving. If you've done Van Gogh Starry Night, there's some similar stuff happening here, isn't there?
Yeah.
And then Van Gogh Starry Night, some similar stuff happening here. Coming around here. And there we go. Just ever concentric circles laying like bricks, building out. I'm layering them up. Now I'm going to want some smaller flowers. This is very important with my bigger flowers.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a little one right here that's not as prominent. And then I'm going to come right here and I'm going to make a nice big rose, big cabbage rose coming out. It's picking up the paint from underneath. And look, I'm not even stressed. There we go. And maybe just one more little peekaboo right here. And then I'm going to pull just a couple little brush strokes coming down like that. And I almost went right in my water.
I almost got it on. Got you doing it too.
Did you?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to hit that with a hairdryer real quick because I want those to be a little bit dry.
Okay. So.
All right. I pulled a little quinacridone out. I'm not quinacridone red, not magenta.
Okay.
Oh, you could do this with magenta. It wouldn't like mess you up.
Yeah.
If that's what you had was quinacridone magenta, that would be also okay. I'll put that list in the thing. I'm going to grab maybe a little yellow here.
Okay.
And add that and a little white. I'm going to come to my big guy and I'm going to accentuate this C. And accentuate this part here. Just pulling this out. Beautiful color. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Get some real white and just quinacridone. Look at that. Maybe in here, come around, highlight this rose, highlight that rose, and some of those petals coming out are highlighted in that bright high pink now. Clean water right now would be critical to succeeding. That would be one of the first things I'd check. This is quite a high pink I'm doing on this rose. It's very light.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But I might come back with some just Quin
Uh-huh.
and add that back in. Following that brick-laying C pattern around. Very loose, very abstracted. These roses could not be easier. Couldn't be if they tried. Kind of fill that in a little bit. Come right here. Maybe a little white.
Yep.
Pick it up. Right here. Look at that. Bring that around. So easy. You could do this on dressers. You could just do these roses just everywhere.
Yeah.
Just absolutely everywhere. Little C friend curled around it. Laying my bricks. Little flower petals coming down. Get some of the bright pink. Bring some of these little flower petals coming down. And I put some over here. I'm trying to create little drapes or swags of flowers. One thing that can really help you with design in your art, believe it or not, is a flower arranging class because they talk a lot about balance and design.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my Quinacridone Red, a little white, maybe a little yellow in there. Following my little wonderful pattern around. I'm not like too crazy sacred to it though.
Yeah.
Like if I feel like it's unbalanced or I want to change it, I do that. I don't not, take care of it. Right? I definitely I'm like, all right, I feel like it needs this or it needs this. I'm going to come back with some just Quin and put it here. And you can see it needed it. It needed that Quin. The Quin.
Mm-hmm.
Harley Quinn. Lost another cap. Got my white going. And then there's just a couple places, I want this to be sort of out.
Where are you going there?
I'm going to put a little more of my titanium white out because it's really fun. Find a little spot that's not contaminated on my canvas. Paint management is always such a big deal. And here's some just dusty pink white, right? Some of that coming up. Just a little bit, just drifting out here. Maybe a little bit right there. Get some pink. These are like little buds that have happened. And that is, I mean, just one more little, I feel like I want to pull this out. Like I'm going to go the opposite direction when I pull it out flat. Just to define this just a little bit more.
I say there's
abstractly.
Betty who's hanging in here with us.
Betty!
Actually, there's over 200 people who are still in here hanging out with, and we have a gray screen being displayed live.
Do we have a gray screen
it really
being
is.
displayed live? You guys are troopers.
Yeah,
Listen,
they're
the
playing
painting's
Peekaboo
awesome.
Sherpa.
Best painting I've ever done. Everyone who stayed, you have the best painting that was ever made.
No, they're really happy about it. Like Bonnie was upset because she's like she was waiting for 2 weeks for this painting and was just like, no, Betty. Betty was like, I've been waiting for 2 weeks for this. How dare Comcast crush the stream?
I know, it happens. And we pay for the extra stream, but we still get this happening to us. I'm going to add a couple more little dots of the dark color here just to balance it out. I feel like I've got a nice composition here. I feel like it's beautiful in the upper left coming down to the right, but there's a flow that brings you back in, right? Nothing takes you completely off the canvas. And so that's really fun. I think framed, it's going to be a really stunning piece.
Yeah.
And you can change up the colors. You can change up the materials a little bit, like we talked about. It's just, I think the number one thing to embrace in this is the mess and keep that water clean.
Yeah.
Keep your water clean and embrace the mess. I love that y'all did this. We're going to come back on the Q&A. I bet now you have 10 definite questions. And that'll even include demos. If we need to demo something, I'll demo it. Whatever we need to talk about, we'll talk about it. We'll get the top 10.
Yeah.
That'll iCar back into this. John will fix this video.
Now, real quick, are we going to
re-upload it?
Are we going to do this just in the go live now?
Yeah, we're just going to go live now. So just hang around the channel and come back in like 30.
Yeah, it maybe even less. We could be less. We're gonna reboot the server has to recycle and do some fun stuff.
Kim Sim and Flame Gremlin are point on the questions, so they're going to make sure I know what the top 10 were.
Yeah.
And then we will just answer them. And we will re-upload this because you will get a good video. It is our promise.
Yeah, we're totally going to get it. We love you guys.
Let me see you at the easel really soon.